Yair Rodriguez, you saw you were safe from Sander today. You saw I wouldn't notice how you pulled out of the UFC Noche, the fight card on my birthday. No, you will never be forgiven. You are now on the number one most wanted list. Worse than Bin Laden, worse than Stalin, worse than Hitler. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the AMG channel. It's such a pleasure to have you back here. Sorry for not uploading as much. I'm back in school, doing a lot of things. But y'all don't care about that. Y'all care about UFC Sacramento, Robocop versus Fluffy Hernandez. And this is one of the best fight nights that's been out there. I don't know what Dana White's been cooking, with his Nelk boys. Maybe he lost a bet where someone good can actually make the matchmaking cards. But this one's pretty good, up there with Serbia. And people like to hate on the Serbia card for some reason. Just because there wasn't that lot of name value on there. But like, come on, there was one boring fight on there, and that was because there was a terrorist of the sport and Alexander Rockcakes. Okay, that was the only bad fight. But anyways, if you like these kind of breakdowns, like the video, comment, subscribe, hype the video. It'll be greatly appreciated. Anyways, first fight, RoboCop beats Hernandez by way of decision. Okay, you know how like out there this was. If you were to say that this happened about like more than 5 hours ago, is currently almost midnight in Eastern time Standard Time. If you were to say about 5 hours ago that you thought that Gregory Rodriguez would win by unanimous decision over Fluffy Hernandez, you low key would have been sent to an insane asylum. You'd be banished from the MMA community. No one would ever take you seriously again. But it happened. Okay. Um, first, though, being an analyst right now, Gregory Rodriguez just had too much power. Had too much. People already underestimate Gregory Rodriguez. Okay, and I think that was because the Cannonier fight. Okay, the Cannonier fight took a bunch of PR away from RoboCop because people saw that he had suspect gas tank from that fight. But people don't understand also that from the fight you can see that RoboCop had hurt Cannonier early, and then was got tired from chasing the finish. In this fight, he was more patient. Yes, he was moving back a bit too much in the earlier rounds, but after like listening to the coaches, he was able to move forward. So some good combinations, rock Hernandez, which is kind of a common, and actually drop him, but not actually drop him in a commercial way because Hernandez did fight back a lot. He would pressure Hernandez. He would pressure Robocop up against the fence and try to takedowns. But people forget Rodriguez is a jiu-jitsu black belt, I'm pretty sure. And like he's got some good anti-wrestling. He's not just a striker. He was a jiu-jitsu champion for like a few years in a row. And so Anthony Hernandez couldn't pressure him or like tire him out by taking him down because that's mostly how Hernandez tires people out. But I will say that Hernandez wasn't completely helpless. This was a war. Um, and Rodriguez did get two black eyes, but I would rather have two black eyes than missing ligaments because Hernandez uh will get dropped. The three times that says there that he was dropped was in the third or in second round, I'm pretty sure, where um Hernandez would just like forget how to check calf kicks. I don't know if Gregory Rodriguez has that much power where he can remove memories, but but after, but apparently Hernandez just did not know how to check calf kicks. And like and he's apparently chinning everywhere but the chin. So by the third one, he was knocked down every time the Rodriguez had him up and landed another calf kick. He'll be dropped, and that's Reed. And I'm gonna give some criticism to RoboCop, even though he's not. He's now on the title screen. A bunch of respect for RoboCop. He cannot finish a fight. He was so tired by the fourth round. The championship round. The first time ever he's been to the fifth round and lucky to a fifth round decision. It's he was tired. You know, his power started to fade. He was got rocked a couple times by pillow fisted Hernandez. He's not pillow fisted, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, for Fluffy, I think that he is his nickname. Okay, I know that people don't like when people make fun of fighters like physique so much, but Fluffy is Fluffy. Okay, especially for middleweight, I think he should either cut down to welterweight or take like a few, even like a year off, like up to the most, to be honest, to fit into middleweight more, where he gains more muscle. I mean, because the difference in size in there was crazy, you know. And I get that the main selling point of Fluffy is that he has a bunch of cardio, and that might tank a bit of it, but I think he can take it, you know. But anyways, very impressive win by Rodriguez. I think he's in title eliminator contention now. Sorry, and I'm really proud of him. Anyways, next up we got a fight of all time. You know, a fight. Okay, I'll be honest. This is the worst fight on this card. Spivak, so overrated. Okay, so Vitor beats Spivak by unanimous decisions, 30-27, and nothing happened this fight. Okay, I can literally tell you what happened by the first round. Okay, Vitor landed a 1-2, got the double leg, took Spivak down. Spivak decided to not move off his back at all, creating no openings, so Vitor couldn't do anything, and Spivak would just crawl up against the cage for the rest of the round. That's what happened. Literally in the second round, he landed like two or three significant strikes. How much is that? 23 significant strikes in 15 minutes. He's number 6 in the heavyweight. If people say that the heavyweight is kind of division kind of safe now, this guy's ranked number 6. Okay, and Vitor, you know, as much as I will say it was mostly Spivak's fault for not like doing anything, Vitor is also not doing anything. Okay, Spivak took Vitor's back. Okay, and all whether Spivak. He has a dumb polar bear tattoo on his nipple. I don't know why he would get in there, honestly. Um, I guess he's the polar bear, but he could at least got it on his back or something like that. It's dumbest tattoo of all time aside. This was just a fight of all time. I can't really even say that much about it. The fact that Vitor is now probably in the top 5 is crazy to me. That's all we have to say about the fight. Anyways, next fight we got RDR versus Delise, and I'm so glad RDR beat Delise because this really revealed the fact that Delise sucked. Delise sucks so bad. Okay, he had the worst game plan of all time here. Okay, I think he might have been taking notes off of Benoit Saint Denis. You know, like whenever um your teacher or when you're taking a test and you look over another kid's like test sheet and try to copy the answers, but they're also dumb and get all the answers wrong. This is kind of what Denise did with Benoit Saint Denis. You know, he looked at Saint Denis' game plan, which was basically go into your opponent's best area, which is grappling. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I should do that too." So Denise would roll for a leg lock, and RDR would just basically just say no and just beat the crap out of Denise while he was desperately trying to get that leg lock. It was sad, man. But yeah, he sucks so badly. Did he say? And the fact that I don't know why I don't know why RDR would even accept this fight. You know, Delete is another middleweight going up to light heavyweight, both ranked by the way, which is crazy to say Delete was ranked, but um, it was just really disappointing. I don't even know where RDR would fit into the 105, but we have to move on. Very impressive win by RDR. We have to move on because there's a lot of fights on this card. Next up, we got a crazy upset, okay? And Marquel Mendoz versus Mason Jones. Mason Jones is another person I would call like a stonewall fighter, okay? And yes, I did make a video about that. Yes, you should go watch it. Watch it. No, this is not a shameless plug. I will take any opportunity to plug my videos. Anyways, Markel, basically one thing. Mason Jones like has like a crazy chin. And he kind of relies on it a bit. He puts it in throws heavy combinations, and and it worked out for like a majority of like the first round for Mason Jones. Dropped Markel even, um, and really was just winning on the first round definitely. But in the second round and a bit towards the end of the sorry, from first round, he would Markel would start using elbows, which are really how you stop like blitzing people, like people who just run at you swinging. Started throwing elbows, tagged Mason Jones a bit, and standing decoyoed him, which is pretty impressive. Markel was doing the chicken dance, or not Markel. Mason Jones was doing the chicken dance for Markel. Really impressive for Markel, especially against someone who was way of a favorite. But yeah, it was a pretty impressive fight. I'm kind of high on Markel. He seemed pretty fun. Mason Jones, I don't see him getting that far with his style of just like throwing heavy combinations, relying on your chin. I feel like most people have figured how to counteract that. Markel seems like he has great clinch work, like up close work too. I can't wait to see more of him. Anyways, next up, we got a fight that we all watched, a fight that we were all excited for, a finish that we agree with, and that was um what is your name? Carly Judice winning against Julius Chavez, or however you say your name. I don't care. By just like teabing her. Yeah. I think that Chavez was fluffy maxing, taking notes from him, and because Judice just like threw one teep and Chavez just went down instantly. And people were getting mad at that, getting mad at the ref, being like, "Oh, it's another stoppage. Oh, it's rigged. Oh, blah 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 blah." Let's think for a second, okay? Chavez is on the ground rolling, okay, and she's not fighting back. Obviously, the ref was gonna stop that. And second off, you're like, people are not even. Oh, it's so rigged. I could definitely take that. I've never taken a shot before, and I even trained MMA before. Oh, but I know that wouldn't have hurt me. Shut up, okay? I'm glad for Cardi Judice, and especially in for the past few months of how bad women's MMA has been. I feel like recently, like the past few fight nights, women's MMA has been getting like really good. I'm happy for Judice. I think that her style will take her far, even though that this fight hasn't really shown anything. And Chavez sucks. Just cut her, bro. Just cut her. Anyways, we got we got Anthony Wint submitting Chapman, and we love a good old fat man in our main card. I'm so glad, okay, because Chapman is the definition of fat. Okay, I can make fun of him. Okay, because he weighed in at the limit of the heavyweight division at 266. He had to cut weight for it. I guarantee you. And it was just a boring fight, to be honest. It was another L fight of all time where Wint would just take Chapman down very easily. I still don't think Chapman has even heard of wrestling and the Golden Corral that he trains at. So just easily took him down, tried to get almost caught a Kimura, but Wint would use the serial call back of the head strikes. He only sees three. I know I'm making a joke of it, but people are getting pissy about that. Herb Dean nearly told him to stop. People are so mad at Herb Dean. The agenda must be pushed. And then Wentz just got an easy arm triangle. Not that much to say about it. Wentz seems like a pretty good prospect. I want to see more of him. I want to see him up against someone who's actually like not a fat chud. Not like someone who they found like outside the apex at the nearest Golden Corral. Trying to scam McDonald's with their McDonald's points. Anyways, next up, you got Jamal Emmers beating Larry Douglas in one of what did I say his name? I don't care. In Douglas. Jamal Emmers beating Douglas. One of the crazy upsets. Uncle got it. You guys, I'm plugging in another one of my videos. Go watch it right now. After you watch the video, Emmers, but basically, Douglas would be winning most of this fight. Would be backing up Emmers with the crisper, the cleaner, obviously, because he's the younger guy in this situation. I don't remember how young he was. Well, was old. He was like 30 something, and Jamal Emmers was like 37. But hey, it's the year of the unks. It's the year of the upsets. What more can I say about it? Jamal Emmers just clipped Douglas pretty bad midway through the first round. Pretty impressive for his age. But next up, we got the real main event. The champ has a name. It is Shamil Gaziev KOing Nezuchuku. I don't know how to say his last name. That was probably racist of me to say. With one shot. Yeah, because that's how much green aura Shamil Gaziev gives off. Okay, Kennedy went in there, and I think they circled the octagon like 1.5 times, or like even like 3/4 of the way, and Shamil was just sweating so much from just like circling the octagon once. And when Kennedy smelled that, he was like, "Oh my goodness, this guy smells so bad. I can't be in here with him." He was Benoit Denise maxing, so he put his hands down, and just let Shamil Gaziev knock him out. He was like, "I cannot remember this moment. He smells so bad." But yeah, I don't know what Kennedy is doing in there. I think that he was watching too much Wonder Boy. Too much trying to get MVP, trying to be the heavyweight MVP. I don't think that would ever work. But yeah, he would just have his hands at his tip the entire time, and Shamil would obviously just like punch him. Like, I don't know what he thought would happen. Yeah, pretty impressive by Shamil. I can't wait for his next title crawl. We know that Shamil's not going on a run. Let's be honest. I can't wait for the title crawl. And anyways, next up we got this is another just fight of all time. Chris Padilla versus Nasara Hawk. Oh my god, I don't know how to say his last name. Anyways, basically, is this what would happen? Chris Padilla and Nasara would just jab at each other at range for the first 2 rounds, and then have like a 10-second burst where they would just like throw like haymakers and just pray that something landed. But then the third round, Chris Padilla would like rock Nazarat and get him in the standing arm triangle. And then whenever the buzzer finished, Nazarat I think died for a second. I'm not even kidding about that. Like he was like twitching on the ground. And so it was caught off. And people were saying, okay, there was a lot of controversial stoppage for some reason in this fight night. But basically, I think that he was out even before the round ended. So to say that it wasn't the should have gone to the decision is so dumb. But yeah, that was pretty impressive. Boring first 2 rounds. Third round was still a little bit more exciting, but don't let the numbers confuse you. That last like I think that those last 50 significant strikes for Padilla were at like the end of round 3 whenever he actually rocked Nazarat. But yeah, it was okay. Anyways, next up, you got Marcio Barbosa, KO and Ryan Coos. How strong is Marcio Barbosa? I did not know if this guy that I put on here is Marcio Barbosa. I cannot find a picture of him. I don't know why. But anyways, Barbosa might have the ability to grab someone's chromosomes because I literally so basically this is what would happen. So this is basically what happened. Okay, Coos will just run at Barbosa, trying to get takedown because Barbosa's really just like a knockout artist, and he would fail horribly. I don't know why. He's a karate combat guy. I don't know why he would go for the takedowns. Just to control the distance, man. But Mauricio Barbosa would then touch his hairline. Ryan Coos would get insecure about it and say it's not that far back, man, and then just decide to knock himself out of respect. But yeah, it was a pretty brutal knockout. Like, and a pretty impressive one for considering like the fact that it like touched, it just touched like his temple. But I'm kind of high on Barbosa now. Featherweight, I think it's lacking some power punchers. I know there's Gene Silva, but Diego Lopez is moving up to 155. I think Barbosa is the next like power puncher that will give people problems. And I think was kind of how shallow featherweight is. I don't know that's crazy to say since featherweight's been one of the greatest divisions, but also Yair Rodriguez and Josh Emmett fought for an interim belt at one point. So how good is featherweight really? Anyways, next up, we got Gage Young getting defeated by Stan Dorsonville somehow. And people are saying that it's robbery. I don't think it's robbery. I think that Dorsonville, even though it was competitive and it was an absolute war, um, that it was that Dorsonville still won round 2 and 3. And Dorsonville is one of those guys where like those the video where like man, a pickle lighter? I don't want no pickle lighter. I think Dorsonville was the kind of guy to actually get mad at that and try to fight the cashier at the gas station. The one screenshot of Bobby King's fighting style being hood. I think that Dorsonville would have probably put that if he could have, because that's how he fought in his fight, and that's kind of how Gage Young really just beat the crap out of Dorsonville for the first round at least, and the second round, and the third round. But what I'm saying is that Dortmund has some power behind him. I think like Young is just a really good volume puncher, and also that fact that Young mostly got most of his power from the clinch. That he would get the clinch and then just rain some shots on Dorsonville, even like if they weren't that powerful. But then Dorsonville would get whenever it was at range, Dorsonville would get the better of Young in most exchanges. He did get rocked a couple of times. But Dornsonville, I think that if, because okay, so he would be training for the PFL, and when he got his call, it had to cut to 155 a week earlier. So I think that once we see Dornsonville again, and if it's like a full fight camp prepared for a specific fight, then he'll do better. But in this fight, I don't think people are very sold on Dornsonville, but he's from Florida. I'm from Florida. I'm rooting for him. I can't wait to see more of him. Anyways, second to last fight now is Jesus versus Jesus of Nazareth. No, it was Schultz versus Justin McVeigh. I mean, my Wes Schultz is shown to again be. This is Wes Schultz that I put on here. Oh my goodness, it is. Is that Wes Schultz? Again, I'll tell these guys apart. Okay, I'm pretty sure I did put Wes Schultz on here. He did not win. Jackson Bay won. But DKOing Wes Schultz pretty booty because Wes Schultz does not know how to strike at all. He's probably the worst striker in the division right now. Very feeble, very bad. And whenever Wes Schultz did get McVeigh down, which is where he's like better at, McVeigh just easy just stood up, TKO'd him, easy fight, easy money. It was pretty fun, anyways. Seeing Schultz being beat up. Um, these guys look exactly the same, bro. Just okay, it might sound racist, but it's like if you put McVeigh inside a toaster oven and it will show to come out. The pie racist. I'm brown. I don't care. Um, that's not Jackson McVeigh. That's Russ Schultz. But Jackson won. Okay. Anyways, last fight we are talking about today is Chanel Dyer beating the crap out of Alice Reed. And I think this fight really made up for the main card fight. I think they should have been switched. Because Dyer has some perfect Muay Thai. Okay, on some Cheeto Vera fanatics yearn for this kind of style. Cause she put BTA in every single round leading up to the finish. Never letting off Alyssa Reed, and Alyssa Reed, at least, I don't know, Reed would Would be tough. You know, she had great chin. She would like, fight back, but eventually she was too much. Dyer has some amazing Muay Thai. I like her kind of attitude of being like saying that like we don't want jiu-jitsu, we want knockouts or whatever English. That's how you say it too in English accent. Anyways, um, just think of the other words whenever I speak like her. But yeah, new Leonardo words, new Carl Pratas, whatever you want to call her. I'm very high Chanel Dyer. And to be honest, I think more about this is that I think women MMA is really making a comeback. Dyer, July, even if you want to say anything about it, it's, Foro, Fatima Climb. We got like in the past few weeks, we've gotten like amazing girl fighters. And then Mackenzie Dern, for some reason, is defending the strawweight title. We want these people. Just boost them. Just give them title fights. Just give them ranked fights. We don't care. But anyways, that will do it for tonight's fight card. It is currently 12:18 for me. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll try to get more prediction videos out. Again, I have a lot to do, but I appreciate so much. Follow my Instagram, follow my TikTok. Both are MFAMJ. Thank you so much. Good night.